Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with another script episode, and this is to do with Halloween 5. Not the original Halloween 5 that we got, but the true sequel to Halloween 4 that people thought they were supposed to get. Was it better, or could it have been better than the original Halloween 5? Let's find out. Dwight H. Little, the director from Halloween 4, and Alan B. McElroy, the screenwriter from Halloween 4, were asked to come back to do Halloween 5. It's only natural that they were asked to do that, but they declined in a similar fashion to Deborah Hill and John Carpenter. They felt like they'd done their job. Their job was to resuscitate Michael Myers and make him terrorise a new family, and that's exactly what they've done. They felt like that's their part over. They don't want to continue on with the franchise. Again, similar to John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. So the producers, Mustafa Akkad, was tasked to bring in somebody else. Shem Bitterman was the new screenwriter. He was tasked to create this new story, but they wanted them to bring out Halloween 5 in 1989, so the script would have to be done quite fast. He always, as in Shem Bitterman, he always boasted of how fast he wrote the first draft of this new Halloween 5. He actually said he'd done it in 3 days. And if he'd done it in 3 days, you must think to yourself, okay, this might not be very good. One thing I like about this first draft is Bitterman didn't know that Mustafa Akkad didn't want Jamie to be the main villain. He wanted his boogeyman. He wanted his Michael Myers. They managed to bring back a triumphant Michael Myers, and they wanted to continue on with that. But with Bitterman, he watched Halloween 4. He saw that Jamie was evil at the end of Halloween 4. So his first draft didn't confirm that she was evil, but showed that she was fighting with the evil inside. The title for this draft was called Halloween, The Killer Inside Me, instead of Halloween, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So it focuses more on Jamie Lloyd rather than Michael Myers. As you can tell from the title, this script was supposed to show the audiences that we weren't to know if Jamie Lloyd was going to be evil or whether she was going to be good. Similar to Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, this version of Halloween 5 was supposed to take place on the same night as Halloween 4, so it picks up where Halloween 4 left off with everybody screaming. When the police come in and try to take Jamie away, they take her to the side as they're trying to get Rachel's mother to the hospital because she survived in this script. She also survived in the script that came out, but she survived in this script. Rachel's dad disowns Jamie straight away. He's like, this isn't my daughter, she's evil. So she's placed to one side while everybody's getting taken to the hospital, etc. But as they leave Jamie for a second with someone watching her, they hear screams. They go into the room and find the person, the matron, dead, and Jamie's gone. In a similar fashion to the very end of Halloween 4, it seems like Dr. Loomis doesn't want Jamie to live. He wants to kill Jamie. He says that Jamie is evil, just like Michael Myers. In this version of Halloween 5, Jamie's got an alter ego, so there's two versions of Jamie throughout this film. And there's like a good version, which is the main version, and you've got this evil version that shows Jamie visions of killing people, and it makes her want to kill people. Lindsay Wallace also makes an appearance in this script. Do you remember Lindsay from Halloween 4? People thought that could be Lindsay Wallace, it might not be Lindsay Wallace. Well, it turns out, yes, the version of Lindsay in Halloween 4 is in fact Lindsay Wallace in Halloween 5. She's also still friends with Rachel, and she helps keep Jamie safe. Jamie turns up at one point in the script. She comes out of hiding and she sees Rachel. Rachel believes her that she wants to be good, even though she tried to kill her mother. And Rachel does say to Lindsay, can you watch Jamie for me? And I'm going to go out and try and find Michael Myers. While Rachel is out trying to find Michael Myers, or at least answers to find out how to stop Michael, she stumbles upon this Halloween party on a farm, similar to the farm in Halloween 5 that we saw. But she finds someone called Tom who lives on the farm. Tom is now the main boy character in this script, and her and Tom go out and try and find the answers. It goes back and forth between Rachel and Tom and Lindsay and Jamie. Jamie's trying to tell Lindsay that Michael Myers is coming for me. I can just feel it with that whole psychic ability. And turns out Michael does come. At this point in the script, I felt like Lindsay was Tina's replacement, or Tina was Lindsay's replacement for the actual movie. But unfortunately for Lindsay, this is where Michael Myers kills her. The script does get messy, but it stays interesting because after Lindsay's killed by Michael, Dr. Loomis pops up out of nowhere and he becomes Jamie's saviour, but he tells Sheriff Meeker, you need to go and get Michael Myers, he's still alive. And as he's sent him away, he wants to kill Jamie because he feels like Jamie is the embodiment of Michael Myers, the embodiment of evil. Things do get stranger though. Before he tries to kill Jamie, Jamie stops him by multiplying herself into numerous Jamies, lots of different doppelgangers. This is a newfound ability that Jamie has in this script.
I dig it, man.
Some sort of psychic storm comes down and stops Loomis from doing it, and the good version of Jamie pleads with Dr. Loomis not to kill Jamie, and he kind of agrees. There's some cool set designs that seem like they would have had in this script. We've got the Halloween party, but in this Halloween party, we've got the Halloween party massacre, where Michael goes and kills a lot of the people at the party. Well, we've also got a cornfield chase that sounds pretty cool as well. So I think if those were in the actual movie, it sounds like that would have been really good. Dr. Loomis does die in this script, but he dies in a weird fashion because he does fight Michael Myers. And Michael Myers does what Jamie does. He multiplies himself. So he's got the same abilities as Jamie in this script. So it's very supernatural. And this is how he's able to kill Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis is trying to take all the masks off the Michael Myers, but he gets to the real one and Michael snaps his neck. So he definitely dies in this version of Halloween 5. After killing Dr. Loomis, he almost kills Rachel. He stabs her, but she survives the stabbing. And then Jamie's able to stop Michael with her psychic abilities. So it seems like a fight between the two of them with these newfound psychic abilities. She then stabs Michael with these invisible knives that she uses to stab Michael. And that's what kills Michael Myers, the invisible or the supernatural knives that go into Michael Myers, and that's what kills him. Now, after he dies, strangely, Rachel survives, Tom survives, and so does Jamie, and Rachel is taken to hospital with her stab wounds, and Tom says, I'll take Jamie, I'll take her to the hospital in the car or in the van. And as they're driving back, this is the end of the movie, as they're driving, Tom crashes into a tree and we don't know why, and the camera pans round and Tom's got a screwdriver in his temple, in his head, and then you just see Jamie leaving the van and walking away back to Haddonfield in the distance. So it confirms that Jamie Lloyd is in fact still evil. That sounds absolutely incredible, to be honest. It seems to me that this script seems a lot more true to the Halloween 4. It seems like it would be seamless. Obviously we've got the supernatural elements, but without that, it still seems like it would have been a better idea than the Halloween 5 that we got. Even when you look at the poster for Halloween 5, you've got Jamie on the poster and she's wearing the clown costume. She doesn't wear the clown costume at all in Halloween 5, but in this version of Halloween 5, she wears a clown costume throughout the entire movie because obviously it's the same night as the events of Halloween 4. So if anything, it's almost like they designed the Halloween 5 poster with this script in mind. Another big plus was Rachel survives this movie. She not only survives the movie and she's in the entirety of the script, but she goes toe to toe with Michael throughout, similar to Halloween 4, because I personally loved Rachel in Halloween 4. She was one of the best characters, but being killed off in the actual Halloween 5 was the wrong thing to do. So this script kept her in it, which I really appreciated. I know that I said I didn't like the supernatural element to this script with Halloween 5, but I preferred this supernatural element over the cursed thorn issue, because the curse and the thorn went throughout the entire of Haddonfield. People were part of it. There was a cult. Whereas the supernatural element in this script, although it was bad, it was limited to a family, just Michael and Jamie. Bitterman wrote a second script after I had read the first script, and it was called Halloween 5 and Things Go Bump in the Night. And the only really dramatic changes were the opening and the ending. In this one, it's similar to the beginning of Halloween 5 where Michael falls down the shaft, only this time he makes his way to this junkyard where there's this priest living with his daughter, and he helps Michael Myers get to health, just like the guy with the parrot and Dr. Death in the other scripts. But this guy, this reverend guy, helps Michael Myers to full health, and then Michael ends up killing him and his daughter. Reverend Jack Sayre from Halloween 4 also makes a return to this script. He pops up to say this is his doing, the demon, the dark one. To be honest, I'd actually pay to see that. The ending to this second script was less supernatural. She does defeat Michael, but without the knives, the supernatural knives, but she still does it, but she does it with words. So in this one, she kills Michael Myers, not supernaturally, but with words. After she defeats Michael, Reverend Jack Sayre pops up again and he's got some sort of line that says, "Don't be fooled, the devil wears many disguises. He can even pretend to be a man." That's right, a man. Like you and I, Armageddon is coming, I tell you. Armageddon. At the end of this one, Jamie doesn't actually kill Tom. Jamie's actually good at the end of this script, and I think that's why Moustapha Akkad likes this script better than the first draft that he'd done, because in this one, Jamie's fully good, whereas Michael is the only one that's fully evil. So why wasn't this movie made? Well, this was the one script that was one of the ones that was almost made, one of the closest to being made out of all the unmade scripts. We go back to Deborah Hill. Yep, Deborah Hill's back in the fold. She goes to the 1989 Sundance Film Festival, where she meets the actual director of Halloween 5, Dominique Othenin-Girard. She talks to him and she looks at his body of work and thinks, his stuff's really good. I better contact Moustapha Akkad and let him know that this guy might be available to do Halloween 5. Now, when I looked at this guy's resume from back then, I didn't see anything of note, so I don't know what Deborah Hill was looking at, but it certainly wasn't anything good. So she contacted Moustapha Akkad. Moustapha Akkad was willing to listen to him, and eventually he was brought on to direct the movie. But straight away, the first thing that this guy done was scrapped the script that Bitterman wrote, whether it be the first draft or the second draft. He didn't like it. He thought it was a little bit too supernatural. At this point though, Akkad was like, "Are you sure you don't want to use this script? Because we've got a lot of time restraints here. The movie needs to come out in 1989. So Girard said, "Yep, no problem. I'll get it done for you in time." This guy brought his crew on. They wrote some scripts for Akkad. One of the scripts actually had Michael Myers actually dying and then being resurrected by lightning. That sounds a little bit too much like Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Luckily, Akkad noticed this and he's like, "Nope, we don't want to do that. We want this grounded Michael Myers that we had from Halloween 4. At the end of it, we eventually got what we got with the Halloween 5 that we all know and love or hate. And it's all thanks to Deborah Hill. Yep, all thanks to Deborah Hill. I've got a funny feeling though that Deborah Hill and John Carpenter at the time secretly hated Halloween franchise. They hated what it stood for. They hated what it done to them, and they just wanted nothing to do with it, and they wanted it to fail miserably. And I've just felt like Deborah Hill maybe went to Girard knowing that he was a terrible director and said, "I'm going to put him in touch with Moustapha Akkad and just see what happens." At the end of the day though, guys, I've no idea if the Bitterman script would have been better on screen than the eventual Halloween 5 that we got. But one thing's for sure, there's certainly things in this script that I much preferred. For example, Rachel being alive throughout the entire movie and being the hero again throughout the entire movie. Jamie wearing her costume throughout the entire movie. The film taking place all the way through the events of Halloween 4, and also not knowing if Jamie Lloyd was evil or not, because that cliffhanger at the end of Halloween 4 deserved the sequel like this rather than the sequel that we actually got. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? Do you think the sound of this script sounds better than the actual Halloween 5 that we got, or were you happy with the Halloween 5 that we got? Leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?